I get off of 4 and I clear Hocevar. And I'm like, wait a minute, where did the field go? I truly was. I was like, where did the field go? They disappeared.
Welcome to the NASCAR Film Room. My name is Eric Estepp, and I've been up all night breaking down footage, race tape from Atlanta. But now I've got the expert joining me for the second week in a row, race winner Tyler Reddick. Tyler, really appreciate you being here. Not to jump too far ahead, but the burnout, the reverse burnout, where did that come from? I don't think I've seen that. You don't see that every day.
You don't see it every day. I'd seen it somewhere a long time ago, and I find it so fitting that, of course, it's Kurt Busch that did it back in the day when he was at Roush in the 97 car. So that gave me a nice little laugh last night. Just, of course, it kind of just came up jokingly this week. I asked my guys, I'm like, is this reverse a lot stronger? Is the gear a lot more solid? Is just way more, is there just more to it? And they're like, well, we think it is. I mean, a bunch of things ran through my mind, right? Like I've seen the amount of times that these cars have gotten stuck in the infield, or they get 3 or 4 flat tires and guys are trying to get them going and they're spinning the tires backwards and forwards. I may have tore it up a little bit. We're going to find out this week and may come out of my winnings, but I don't know. I wanted to have some fun with it. I wish I would have thought out a little bit more, but by the time I tried it, it was pretty much towards the end of the celebration. So who knows? Maybe who knows where it'll go from here? Maybe I'll expand on it some more for the future.
Yeah, everyone needs a signature celebration, I guess. And I mean, hey, it could have been worse. I mean, Sam Mayer congratulating his teammate in the O'Reilly race ripped the splitter off of it. So it could have gone
that's a unique tradition as well, right?
Yeah.
Whoever wins, the teammate just destroys their entire car.
Pulled a classic Carl Edwards from back in the day, unfortunately. Happens to the best guys. But I just want to start with the opening laps here because, I mean, you weren't feeling great. No practice, no qualifying, cold temperatures, gusting winds, and you are leading the 40-car field into turn 1, back and forth with Joey Logano. Like, how stressful is that going into this race with so many unknowns?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was kind of a nice little throwback to what I remember, how I got my Cup Series career started, was mainly in the COVID era. That first year or so where we really didn't have a lot of practice. Well, we had no practice, no qualifying, show up and race. So that's how I got my Cup career started, which is pretty wild to think of now. So yeah, for me, I really love that time, as crazy as that may sound. I think for some, the uncertainty of knowing what you're going to have underneath you can, I don't know, in my opinion, I think some people are a little bit more conservative. I think over time they've gotten more confident in that. But for me, day one of, my racing career, you would go out there in hot laps, and sometimes hot laps would be qualifying. It was what would set you up for your whole night. So I've always just had this mindset of, I'm going to go out there and cross the line. And after I cross it, hopefully I'll catch it and not wreck. Now I know where the mark is. So it was good. I was having fun. I wish I wouldn't have given up the lead so easily, but I kind of did it to myself there, honestly.
Yeah, well, it was fun to watch. You could see those racing instincts kick in those first few laps. I want to skip ahead now to later in the race. This is where the action really picked up. The Penske guys get out front. Ryan Blaney then kind of covers your lane. Just take me through this. How did you all not wreck right here?
Ryan Blaney's got great car control, and I think I got decent car control too, but mainly it was all Ryan. Yeah, I kind of messed that one up. I should have known he was going to cover the top. I just wasn't really wanting to go back to the bottom, but honestly, I would have been fine, with those Fords lined up like that. It was just one of those moments where I'm trying to be, it may not look like it here in the moment. I'm trying to play it safe by just staying top, but still pushing Ryan, and taking the outside if he gives it to me. And I should have known better. Honestly, that's what it comes down to. I should have known that I was never going to get to his right rear. He just wasn't going to let it happen. The person it cost the end of the day was me. So it was just something I was able to learn from. I mean, again, I think by this point in the race, I should have known better. But again, as the race kind of continued to play out, especially after getting damaged and whatnot, if I kind of was in a similar spot, I would just take my run elsewhere. And, if I couldn't get the top, I'd try and find something else make it work.
Well, it was a good save by Blaney. You could see the fire out of your tailpipes that you were lifting, trying to catch the car. Y'all did save the car. You kept going. Unfortunately, that led then to this wreck just a few laps later. This is where your right front fender infamously left your vehicle. What did you see here?
Yeah, I just, I couldn't quite remember what exactly caused it, but that makes sense. I mean, I know Denny kind of got jammed up. Obviously there, you can really tell it's from the 22. It's just tough spot. Like, everyone's racing so close all day long. I mean, it's a game of inches, and it kind of looked like the 20 got to him at kind of a bad time on his left rear, kind of sent him up the track a little bit. Another thing that just kind of plays into it, right? Like when you're the bottom in the middle lane, you're doing everything you can to make sure you're not bottom of 3 down the front stretch. Christopher placing a well-timed side draft on Joey kind of probably moved him up the hill a little bit. That's kind of what it looks like to me. And then, me and Denny were kind of there to catch the bad end of it. But, with the wind and everything and how much it was blowing across the track all day, I was surprised we didn't have more wrecks like that throughout the day. In the moment, it felt like we had some right front damage. You know what I mean? I'm not talking like the fender being gone. I thought it was more suspension. So from my seat, going back out there on the track and attacking aggressively, even though I probably shouldn't have with a very damaged race car, I was kind of able to understand what more we needed to do to our car to make it drive a little bit better. It had gotten very loose, where it's basically just kind of snapping around on itself in the middle of a corner towards the back of the pack. So we put right side tires on it. And I think we made a little adjustment to the car too on the balance side of things. And that's all it needed.
It must have been a magical adjustment, because I just want to let this next clip play. You go from the back to the front in like 2 laps. I'm just going to let this run because it looks like a video game. I mean, just how was the car driving? How were you able to carry this much momentum? It looked like the last lap of the Daytona 500, but for like 3 laps.
Yeah, I mean, I gave Chris Buescher 2 prime opportunities on these last 2 runs to just absolutely chuck me on the front stretch, and he took pretty good care of me. Late block on my end. So right here before the clip even starts, the 17 is basically on my back bumper, and I come sliding across his nose to fill the hole there. That's why I have this big wiggle. But yeah, it's tough when you're sitting here in the middle of 3. You're like, do I go bottom? I think the top was covered. In the moment, it looked like middle was going to win out, and then I had to push from the 17 here, and I was able to put AJ. I was able to put AJ in a really bad spot, and just now I have all that gap there, right? And as the top just keeps stacking as the tires wear out, I was able to just keep finding open space down the straightaways into the corners and just take advantage of it. This one I was surprised. I was able to pull this off on Suarez. Yeah, he's normally very good on that. I don't know if the run was just too big, or again, maybe he knew I had damage, or I don't know what the situation was, but just didn't expect the maneuver out of me after wrecking. So yeah, I think maybe some of what worked in my favor is, everyone just saw me wreck and they know I have damage. So maybe they just weren't expecting, me to have the straight line speed, me to be able to make the moves that I did to get backed up towards the front. And it's great, watching that video, it's like, okay, he's like 20th, and like you blink and you're 5th or 3rd. That's kind of how it was in the car for me. I was like going. And, I get off of 4 and I clear Hocevar, and I'm like, wait a minute. Where did the field go? I truly was. I was like, where did the field go? They disappeared. And I realized I was running 3rd behind Bubba and Christopher. It was absolutely crazy.
It was fun to watch. I mean, watching it on TV, you look up and like, I thought that guy was wrecked. It looks like an open wheel car, and he's 3rd. It was just as shocking for the viewer at home. I've got a couple more clips for you, Tyler. We get into the final couple of restarts, overtime. This was a hot button issue. It wasn't a move you made, but you're lined up behind Bubba Wallace, your teammate. Makes sense. The 2311 guys lined up on the inside. You got another Toyota there on the front row. Carson Hocevar, I think, kind of felt like he was on an island. Makes this move middle 3 wide. Did you see this coming? Is there any way to prepare for this? Were you surprised he took the shot?
I saw it coming, probably, off of 2 or into 3, but not there. I was honestly too busy fuming and pissed at myself for having such a bad launch. I mean, I still have never gotten to the 23's back bumper, even at this point that we all crash. I was so mad about that I hadn't even really understood or realized what Carson was trying to pull off. I mean, it was like, I don't even know if this makes sense, like getting blindsided, whether it's getting tackled or in a car crash you don't see coming. I feel like I was blindsided in the moment because I was so focused and mad about just having such a poor launch and not pushing Bubba. So, I mean, it isn't until we're like crashed and heading down below the yellow line before I figured out what the heck is going on. I mean, I'm all the way. It wasn't until here I realized, wait a minute, what the heck is going on? Like, what is the 77? Why is he driving me down here? And then, after the race and everything, I was better able to understand what took place. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how in that moment right there, because I didn't have the fender, like me and Carson kind of got like stuck together. I don't know. Like we just like the tires got glued together for a second there, even still to that point right there. And we could not get off one another. I don't know. I mean, I get it in one hand. Like if he's just looking out the front windshield, I get it. But again, I think I was somewhat covering that. But if you freeze frame it at the right second, I can see what he was saying. It's just, it closed so fast. Reminiscent of, Brad and Jeff years ago at Texas, a long time ago, right? I mean, maybe this is a little bit more extreme, obviously, but it's same kind of vibe, but this is just a little bit more extreme even than that.
Well, you and your teammates survive. Final restart. I'll let this sort of play here. You did get a better launch, push Bubba clear to the lead, and then just take
I
me
did my
through.
job.
He throws the block, inside opens up. What did you see here?
Yeah, for my driver's seat, I was wondering, well, again, until I saw it, I was wondering, was I too low? I'm not covering the top enough. And it's just I'm kind of in this weird spot, right? Like we come off a turn 2 and the 19's got me lined up pretty good. Again, I have damage. So I just, again, feel like I have to be diligent and I can't leave the bottom wide open. Yes. I mean, I'm not expecting Chase to leave me, but I wouldn't blame him if he did because of the damage that I have. So,
yeah.
I don't know, to some degree, like when you're in the bottom lane, you kind of have to protect yourself and then also kind of protect the people around you. So in the moment, as this all happened, right, in my head, it felt like I was below the first wide hash completely. Yes, I'm still not all the way up tight to the outside line. I think if I was, I could have helped Bubba. But I mean, we're coming off a turn 2 for the first time. You know what I mean? When Bubba threw that block, it's hard to I guess it's something I can learn for the future to maybe help him in the future or help my teammates in the future if something similar plays out. But it's kind of hard in that moment to realize, oh shoot, this guy could poke him middle of 3. And I mean, could I have done something to help that? Probably. Now seeing it, in the moment though, it all happened so fast. I mean, Bubba threw the block and I'm like, oh crap, here comes Hocevar. So I hated that for Bubba because I mean, he, up until this moment, did so many things right in this race. But yeah, it's just one of those deals where, Hocevar's, I mean, we kind of saw it. Hocevar was just going to take any hole he could get, it seemed like.
Were you surprised Briscoe pushed you here? Because I thought he was going to swoop to the inside.
No, I mean, it made sense. Going 3 wide there, it just, if his run stalls out, now you got 3 cars at the front and everyone behind has just got this huge opportunity to pick between 3 different cars and who they're going to push. I can understand why you're like, why don't you go for the run or go for the win, and try and poke 3 wide. But we kind of just, I mean, for a split second there started to separate. I think if we go 3 wide there, just the little bit of separation we had would have been gone that much faster. I don't know. Maybe he thought I would have covered it. I'm not really sure. He talked about it a little bit. He didn't feel like his car had the straight line speed all night long. And that certainly seemed like it played into it a little bit, his decision making. But yeah, I mean, just the rest of that lap, it just doesn't really, I don't really have words for it. You know what I mean? I mean, we had the damage. Yeah. They're lined up single file and the run just never really develops. I know Ross was trying to get to his back bumper off of 2. It's almost looked like the 19 tries to back up to the 1. And instead of connecting, he kind of knocks the 1 kind of knocks the 19 back out there. And I don't know if that played into it or what the deal was, but they definitely tried to get together to form that run. it just, I don't know, it just never really came to them. Typically in my case throughout the day, I talked about it early in the race, when I would get a shove, I mean, there was times I get shoved out 2 or 3 car lengths. And even with that big shove that I got, I mean, he was still basically on my back. He was still within range to make a move on me into turn one. It's never really like I got pushed way, way out. So I wonder if that just in some way, with the damage and affecting the bubble of my car and how draggy it was, just kind of kept me close enough to them where they couldn't really get that big run out of nowhere on me. But again, I mean, that was like the first time in a long time throughout the day that everyone was really single file in those cooler conditions too. So, and the tires, we got into the middle of 3 and 4, and the 19 had to fan up, the 1 fanned up, and I mean, the 97 shot all the way to the fence and lost 2 spots there at the end. So the handling was certainly going away with the amount of laps that everyone had on tires too.
Yeah, well, 2311 couldn't have gotten off to a much hotter start than y'all have these first couple weeks. Tyler Reddick, thank you so much. Very generous with your time this morning. Appreciate you helping break down all those big moments. Congratulations again, and good luck this weekend at COTA. Past winner there. Can we go 3 in a row? You got that on your mind yet, or are you taking it one day at a time?
We'll see. I think everyone here at 2311 collectively is tired of getting just flat out outran by Shane. So Shane is, if he's not already reached perfection, he's gotten very, very close to it. So it's not like we're going to be able to put a half second on him. I think it's just going to be a matter of getting as close as we can to him on speed, and then who can run the cleaner race, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be fun to watch. You've got your work cut out for you. Big challenge ahead, but it seems like your team is up for the task. Tyler, thank you so much again for spending some time with us, and good luck this weekend.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric.